Mark is running for Madison County Commission District 1 as a Libertarian. In the primary, he has a primary opponent on the March 5th ballot in Madison County, and he is a retired police officer? Deputy Sheriff, I'm sorry, I apologize. Deputy Sheriff, and he is a very solid constitutionalist, small government Libertarian. I've had the pleasure to get to know over the past few months, and he's a hard worker, and he's not a line holder, y'all. He's actually running an active campaign. He's trying as hard as he can. He's out in the community. He's spending money. He's spending time, and I really want y'all, if y'all can, and I'm just going to say this, spend some money on him. He's got a campaign website up. It's at mjean4, the number 4, cc.com. Yeah, mjean4cc.com. Get on there, give him a donation if you like what he says, and I'll give you his website again after this is done if you need to know where to give him money to.
Thank you, Anson. And I want to thank Anson. He has been a fabulous help in helping me get started, especially with all the financial items that you have to submit, all the reports. So it's been, without him, I'd have been lost. So real quick, how this whole journey has been for probably 2 or 3 years. And I've just been getting more and more irritated with watching how our government works in all levels, the county levels, the state levels, the federal level. And so I started getting more involved. There's a group called 5stronghsv.com, and they're a local group in Huntsville, a very conservative group of groups. So they just put people together. And in that group, I'm now on the election integrity committee, so we're trying to get up hand counting, ballot training. That's February 24th. We have the class. We have Linda Rentz coming in from Missouri. She set up her county and got it working. So in this election integrity, I went to one of the county commission meetings to speak about it. I think because they had the ES and S machines on the agenda to vote on. Well, the agendas are terrible. They're not transparent. You have no idea what they're really talking about. So we went in, 4 of us went on that day to speak about these machines and not using them. Well, it turns out it was a machine for somebody with serious disabilities that would actually turn it into a paper ballot. And then they could stick it in the machine and it would be counted. So none of us had an issue with a machine that does that helps somebody with that kind of disability. However, after we all spoke and then the meeting adjourned, or was being ready to be adjourned, the speaker at large stands up and he goes, "Oh, look, we have Mr. Merrill here, our former Secretary of State, and do you have anything you want to say?" And so he just spent the next 5 minutes extolling the virtues of the Madison board and how they're the best, commissioners in the whole state, and how Judge Barger is the best probate judge in the whole state, and our elections are golden, the gold standard of elections. And I don't know if you've seen it, but Madison County got actually poor grades for elections. So that really irritated me, and that irritated all 4 of us, and it just made us madder and want to work harder at it. So the very next day, another group that I'm a member of, it's called NARPNet, it's a prepper group, somebody posts the Libertarian event to come down and register to run. And I'm like, okay, well this is in my path for a reason, so I'm gonna go do this. And so that's kind of how I ended up running here. I wasn't planning on it, and so the learn was mine, because I have a lot to learn. I mean, I'm just like drinking through the fire hose on everything that I get involved with, whether it's canvassing. I did some canvassing for Elijah and fundraising and trying to get out and meet people. I am finding that people have a lot of the same issues that I have. Transparency in our government, especially at our local level, is gigantic in the county. Everybody I talk to, that's their problem. They're like, you know, we don't know what they're doing. And you go to the board meeting, the commissioner meetings, and it's just a rubber stamp. Whatever they're doing in the background is invisible and nobody gets to see it. Same thing with our election process. There's no transparency in that. And if you're interested in having somebody speak about that, let me know, because I have a couple of people that wrote up an entire presentation that I can bring to you, and they've been speaking all over the state, and so those are kind of the main issues: is election integrity, transparency in our government. The other one is our budget. Our county budget in the last year went up $81 million for Madison County. That's more money than all of the increases combined since 2009. So that's gigantic. And somebody needs to be held responsible for that. That should never, ever happen. I mean, as a deputy sheriff, I actually used to have to write contracts, and I had a budget I ran our material management section for a while, so I was used to buying things and setting up contracts, and you had to think way ahead. Like, I had a whole laundry to run. We had 1,000-bed jail, and we had to clean those clothes and run the kitchen and everything else. And so you had to plan this out. If you needed a new washer, you needed to be looking 3, 4, 5 years ahead. And so I see them buying new trucks just willy-nilly, and they're just spending money like it's, there's no tomorrow, and they're not being responsible with their money. So the budget's another one, and then I just kind of want to be a stumbling block in this. Yes, all the way across the board, every single day, every time you go, it's 7 people all vote yes for all 60 agenda points, and then they go home. And so those are my main issues that I want to get involved with and try and make something happen. So even if I don't win in this, I want to get a voice out to people, and I want people to start thinking. And so when I'm out talking to people, these are the points that I bring up, and they're all the same. Matter of fact, one lady I was talking to when I was canvassing for Elijah, she didn't even know if she voted or not, or if she was registered. But we got to talking about things, and I started talking about voting, and I said, when you go vote, you put your ballot in the machine, it gives you a little check mark, you voted. But that's all it tells you. And she goes, well, when I buy something on Amazon, I get an email, and it's crystal clear. It tells me all the things that I did, how much money I spent, what it was I bought. So this machine should tell me who I voted for, and it should be crystal clear to me where my vote's going, and it's not. And so there's a lot of people they're thinking and they're paying attention to all these different things. We just got to help give them a voice, and that's really what I'm running for, is to open up this transparency. I know Isaac's also, I don't know if he's coming up. But he's also on the same vein. So if we can get a couple people in office, we can start opening it up and let the county see what's going on, and where is all this money going to. And that's about it. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Do you have any opposition in your primary?
Yes, I do. I do have some opposition in my primary. Justin Wild. And so Justin's a good guy. He's young. but he's also kind of a Green Party type guy. And one of his stances was he wanted to put, green solar power on all the county buildings in the whole county, which would be, I don't really understand that because that's not little government. That's spending a ton of money. I looked at it, doing it on my house, and I wanted $40K to give me $50 a month, and I'm like, there's no return on that. So that's the other thing when I talk to people is I want a return on my investment. Whatever I'm gonna spend it on, and we should be doing the same thing. We should look at each budget item in the county and go, where's our return? What are we getting out of this? And is this something decent to spend our money on? I don't think they're being good stewards with our money. They say they are, but talk's cheap. And let's see what really is going on. So that's the other thing I've been looking for is the Madison County budget. It's invisible. So far I haven't been able to find a copy. And I can find the state of Alabama's budget. I can print that out and read that all day long. But I can't find one for Madison County. And there's no executive committee meetings where the public's invited, where you can go see. And again, they're doing everything under the radar. We don't get to see what's going on, and we need to fix that. That needs to go away, and the people need to know exactly what's happening. Some of the people were like, I can't go to those meetings because it's on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. So we can run one meeting on Wednesday at 10, and then 2 weeks later, Wednesday at 6. So people get an opportunity to come and show up and listen. Yes, sir.
Are there any two-party, like Republican or Democrats that are running in this?
There's an incumbent, Tom Brandon, and so he's running again, and he likes to take a lot of money from all the builders. So those are the people that are funding him. And so that's one of the things I put on my website was you need to go look at where people are getting their funding from. And so I went, I took them right to that link so that they could go look it up and see who's paying who. And so we want to make, again, transparency. They can look at mine all day long and they'll see, individuals and small groups. But, a big builder comes to me that doesn't live in the county, has no ties to the county. I don't want anything to do with them. So I will turn their money away. Yes, sir.
How big an influence is the ACCA, and I know you know what it means, but for the other folks, the Alabama County Commissioners Association. So how big an influence are they in your county? And do you think taxpayers should be paying for membership into that organization that seems to like to steal from taxpayers and citizens?
Yeah, so there's I don't think we should be. I mean, this is just another influence into us, and the state already really controls the county commissioners. There's another item that's in the duties, and I'll talk to that in a second. But no, I don't believe we should be paying into that. They're influencing our county. They're not elected. They have nothing to do with us. And, so we need people that were elected running our county and nobody else. There's also the Council of Governments, and they're another group that is having an effect on our county. And a friend of mine spoke against them a couple times, and so we need to look at that. And there's so many different influences. I'm wondering about all the HARP? It's money that's coming in from the federal government. Yeah, and it's financing, emergency services and so forth.
All sorts of stuff it wasn't designed to.
Yeah, and so what are they getting in return? What is it we have to say or we have to do in return? And we may not want to be doing that. And same thing with the sheriff's office. We've been pressing on the sheriff that you know, he is not beholden to the federal government. So, you know, a lot of people, ATF's been door knocking, not so much here in Alabama, but they have been door knocking on people just showing up, and they have no right to be there. And they have no right to knock on your door and ask you how many guns you have, where they are, or anything else, unless they have an actual warrant. And so the sheriff should be protecting people for that. So we've been pressing on the sheriff. I did talk to him at a Republican men's breakfast, and I gave him my card and I said I was running for office. And I told him I'm a friend, but I'll be a friend as long as we can come to some understandings on what his job's really supposed to be. I mean, I was a deputy sheriff for 24 years, so I have a pretty good handle on it. And you know, I took that oath of office, and I still follow that today. So it's real important that he's there for the people. He's elected by the people, and he should be doing the people's business, not the federal government, not the states. Anybody else? Anything else? Well, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.